So, yeah. I watched a football match yesterday. It was sunny but freezing cold. So, that's probably where that comes from. It is raining outside. It is supposed to be spring, but well, it's 2023 and it just goes on. It's even so cold that I had to order some new wood pellets, and it seems that every time I work on moving around the wood pellets, I get to work on the Morris Minor as well. Let's flip around here. It's a bit dark and cramped in there, but my good old Minor, now I'm out in the rain, great. Well, to cut it short, I haven't started it this year. I don't think I have started it since I worked on the water problem with the leaking tap. It's probably still leaking. But one of my automotive friends, Nils, he commented on a video that from 2018, will it start this year as well? And I said, yeah, sure. But it ain't going anywhere because I need some other water issues, some small brake issues, really need some new tires, but that will have to wait. The car is, legally roadworthy and all, but I'm not gonna drive it until I have fixed those things. But let's see if it starts this year. I'm hoping you can see just a bit in here. I have learned something over the years, and that is that every time I try to start it, the battery always dies. So I have entrusted this setup. I don't know if you can see it. Just I don't really need it, but I bought the battery trolley or whatever you call it, just because I thought that it looked cool when other people used it. So I have hooked up some extra power and some light, and you have to remember that a Morris Minor is positive ground, otherwise the engine goes the wrong way around. First of all, let's hit the ignition and see if the fuel pump works. It should be, because it's a newly renovated one, and I haven't made it, so it's supposed to work more than one time. I just checked the car before for any rodents, but I don't think they have been in the car, luckily. Let's point you at the battery. You can't see anything in here, but we hit the ignition and we want to hear it say like it always such a nice sound the first time. And we want it to stop also. Perfect. Isn't that just great? That's because the float chamber is, of course, empty when it has been standing, and a Morris Minor just goes crazy filling it up. But let's just try turning it without the choke. And some choke. I don't know if this is a really stupid idea, but I can't remember if I have ever tried it. But it has a switch out here Only problem is that mice has been eating it. So normally it should be isolated. You can see they have been there as well. I hate rodents, but let's try it out here. Now with choke. And why did I let go just when it was about to fire? Here we go again. The contact works. And now the starter says it doesn't want to play anymore. Come on. So apparently both that battery and that battery seems a bit low. Let's just give it a second, maybe a little bit more choke. It's a bit stupid, but I have a whole lot more to hang of it when I'm in here in the dark. Come on. I know my car. It's really close. It's also really close on dying on power. It's not the car, it's the setup. If you're real lucky, you just wait. I guess the horn went to the football match as well. Danish women's national team meeting Japan. Denmark won the game on a, what do you call that, own goal by Japan. But we had a good time. Come on. And this is what happens every year. I really thought I had it covered, but guess not. So I'm gonna put the camera down, get another battery. Just check the voltage. It isn't that low, so why don't we give it another screwdriver, I think. That almost fired. Come on! Did I mention that Nils, the guy who was trying to teach me, he has a classic Toyota Hiace? Come on. Everybody knows that they start every time. You just have to look at them. It is quite the opposite of a old British car. Cool classic anyway. Okay, I'm getting the battery. So, the new one, better used. I seem to remember that I actually charged on that one. This one, I haven't been for a while. But hey, it says it was okay in 2015, so what could be the big deal? So, let's try again. I'm not sure that it's getting a whole lot of power through those cables, but it really should. That's not enough. Give me a second. So, apparently, and I should know that because that's actually what I do for a living. Start cars, modern cars, that has to be. If you're missing 0.5 volts, your car usually won't start. Well, modern cars, they don't even try, they just say click. So we got an old car here from 68. So it is actually turning but not starting. And apparently all my batteries seem to be missing those 1.5, so I really need to charge them before we can move on. But now it has been sitting a while. If it was just fire into life on that first try, I think we got a shot. Let's give it one more go. Nope. That is really poor. What is it with you? Do you think you're a modern hybrid car now? I have to put the camera down, give me a second. So, how about a final attempt with the 2015 battery? I just thought to myself, what if it was because I was too lazy to tighten the terminals? So I didn't tighten that one, but the ground one, which is, yeah, really the positive cable on a Morris Minor, I think. Derek from Vice Grip would be proud. It says negative here and positive on the terminal, but come on, girl. Nope. That did not improve things. So, I'm gonna charge the battery while I eat some lunch and we get back, and I almost promise you it's gonna start. It just needs to spin over. I know it's gonna start. Well, almost. So, see you after my lunch, which is gonna be 2 seconds for you. Maybe I'm just being too overcautious, or what do you call it, but I usually disconnect the battery while I'm charging. Actually, usually I take it out of the car, but it's a real pain in the Morris Minor because you have to lift it over the engine, and it's an awkward position. So let's try putting that back on. Still not tightening proper. I need another clamp. So, and if we get the same slow action, I think that battery is collapsed, but I'll just go and hit the ignition. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining even more outside. Really not the weather to inspire you to work on your classic today, but that's how it is. So remember, we have already pumped up a lot of fuel and engine has been turning, so if with just a little luck we should get some action. But let's give it a go. Oh yeah! Now it's getting a little bit too much choke. We are having a misfire. I'm just gonna check the leads, what do you call them? Should we just crank it from in here? I guess my Toyota friend is not gonna be extremely impressed with this. So I decided just to take out the blocks. That doesn't take long. And when you got a car that doesn't really run, only sits in the garage and has a lot of failed starting attempts. Remember, I'm still learning to use this camera. Your plugs get like this. Whoop. Hope you can see it. And it looks really old, but it's not. This is just moisture simply from standing. Probably mice that pissed on it. But I'll just clean this up. I've done it with the other three, but things can get too boring. I gotta use both hands, but I'm using what do you call this, brass edition of a brush to do that. I tend to use that particularly for cleaning spark plugs. It's a lot. You could also use it for cleaning like aluminium on if you wanted to clean your carburetor or something on the outside. This is a lot more gentle. The only reason why it's black on the end right now is because I have used it on the other three plugs, spark plugs. So give me a second. Oh, and I just wiped them for the first layer of dirt instead of totally destroying that new brush. So let's get back in the engine bay. It's not super clean in here, but I'll just be gentle. And I always do this by hand, so I'm sure that I'm catching the thread. And then this is not scientific in any way, but I suppose you could use a small, what do you call that, torque wrench, the one where you decide how much force you're gonna need. But I just tighten it until it gets tense, and then a bit more. Remember, this, depending on what kind of engine block you have, it gets a lot of heat and expands and cools down, and so don't worry, they will seat, but never over tighten your spark plugs. Will only cause you problems. So I have to admit that I'm not gonna attempt anymore today. This was just because I was here anyway. I'm not gonna renovate the car in 2 hours, but already spent a whole lot more time than I intended to. But boy, would I like to hit running probably on all 4 cylinders. So let's see if this made a difference. I'm just gonna turn on the ignition again. It's a whole lot better. Still not perfect. You can hear it. Took the choke off. It is still not perfect, but sure is a whole lot better than before I cleaned those plugs, so yeah. And now I mean it, that will do it for today.